Hey, Justin, I was just thinking that there's no better way to advertise that hashtag WrestlePals is moving to 10 p.m. every Monday on Radio Free Radio, RadioFradio.com, than to cut our own wrestling-style promo. Do it.
Monday nights at 10 p.m. Hashtag WrestlePals take the airwaves. And they're going to talk wrestling with you. If you want to call in, you can call 757-848-5920. Can you feel that? Feel the WrestlePals power coursing through your veins! Ah!
I think you just had an aneurysm. That's hashtag WrestlePals every Monday, 10 p.m. Radio Free Radio, RadioFradio.com.
Common thing I get from
What's up, what's up, what's up? What's going on, everybody? It's the kid, Rudy Malumba. You've tuned in to the great show. How's everybody? How's everybody doing? This is weird. I feel like I'm talking to an audience right now. They can't respond. So it's all good. I'm sitting here in the studio. To my left, got my co-host. Oh, wait. No, he's not there.
I think I'm just a guest.
My co-host, Ryan Valentine's, not here today. He won't be able to make it. To my right, I got my... There's no one there either. Jonte Ferguson, he's running a little late. He's going to be coming in soon. We got Justin Wilson behind the board there. And our guest for today is the very funny, the very hilarious, the very good-looking Justin King, everybody.
Oh, you're too kind, buddy. You're just too kind. I appreciate it, though. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm excellent, buddy. How
Good,
about
man.
yourself?
Yeah, I'm here. Chilling. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
The one thing I can hear is the radio pipes on you, dude. I feel like you've been doing this for years. This is crazy to me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I was, just born this way.
Oh, there you go. A little Gaga reference in there. That's excellent. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Jonte's on the way. He's going to be coming in. Before we start the show, I just wanted to kind of go around and I wanted to kind of drop a few plugs. This Saturday, October 22nd, there's a little event going down here called All Day You Drunks 2. There's going to be a live broadcast the entire day with a bunch of really it's going to be led by the Good Morning You Drunks crew, and a bunch of other broadcasters going to be coming in broadcasting over the course of the day. I'm actually going to be running a comedy show at 9 p.m. So the broadcast starts at 9 in the morning and it ends at 4 in the morning the following day, so Sunday at 4 in the morning. But if you guys can, tune in for everything and tune in for the comedy show. I'm going to have a bunch of funny guys. And speaking of funny guys, my good friend and co-host, Jonte Ferguson, just stepped in. What's going on, Jonte? How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling great. How y'all doing out there tonight?
I was actually just mentioning that. It's really funny. It's weird just doing comedy and going in to like something, right? Like I feel like the main thing you have is to say, to greet the audience, but I don't know. I guess no one can see us. People can see us, but they can't hear us, or they can't respond.
They can hear us, right?
They can hear us.
Yeah,
They can hear us.
can
I
hear
think
us.
we're live, are we? Excellent. Jonte, how you feeling, buddy?
Feeling great, man. Why does people calling me? People are calling me. I don't know why. I already told them I was at work and I lied. It's crazy out here.
That's excellent, buddy. Well, we got Justin King in the building.
Yeah.
Yo.
Justin, fellow comedian, funny guy. All right. You
I
can
guess
see him
so.
at the Funny Bone. He's worked out there for a bit.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm still new in it, though. Like, I've only been doing it, like, a little more than 2 years.
About 2.5 years?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
It's the same with me. Like, it's, they always say, like, they always compare the number of years we've been doing comedy with, like, how old, like, a baby is.
Yeah.
Right. So by 2 years old, you have your terrible twos going on. That's when people start kind of going off and stuff. I've noticed for me, I'm about 2.5 years in, and I really can't. I don't know. I'm really erratic with it. Some weeks I feel like, man, I could really do this, and then other weeks I'm like, I'm the worst comic ever.
Oh,
I should just
absolutely.
quit.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I feel the same way. Yeah. Some days it's great, and some days it's not. But terrible twos. Like you grow out of it, right?
Yeah.
So
It's just a
maybe
phase. It kind of.
I don't know what they call the threes, but we'll get there and see how that goes.
I have
Threes.
no idea what they're calling it, but I'm going through it, man.
the lit three. Oh, you're number 3, right?
Terrible threes, man. Well, my problem is it's getting back out there.
Yeah.
Like after doing these open mics for like 3 years straight, just here, there. After a while, it's like playing a sport.
Yeah.
You keep going to the same court. You're like, all right, I want to see a different court because I'm getting bored going through the motions.
Yeah.
I need challenges.
I don't know how guys do it who are 20 plus years in. So just go like 20 years in, you're like, oh, let me go do a mic. I mean, what really drives you to that? It's crazy.
You know,
Well, I think a lot of the people that have been doing it for that long, they either have a wife or kids or some shit where they need to get out of the house. So they're like, let me go do this because I don't want to be stuck here.
It's like your escape.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's your escape. Which, I mean, right now for me, only 2 years in, and I don't have a wife and I don't have no kids. Like, it's still an escape from the rest of my shitty ass life.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine how worse it would be if I was pushing 50 and,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk.
honestly, I think it's because I only traveled, like, really, really went, like, far doing comedy probably, like, twice. And that's so fun. Like, to actually meet new people and
it's the
seeing if
best.
they can really make them laugh. Like, it's just not a hometown thing. Like, you can go to a place where you're a complete stranger and nobody knew nobody. And you still come out, with people laughing. That's like a real measure of how big your comedy dick is, just to see.
Where's the farthest y'all have traveled to?
I've traveled as far as these. I've gone to DC. I've gone San
You've been all over, right? Like, but I feel like before I really
I've
met
gone
you
to the
in
different
person, like I would see you post stuff on Facebook, like about to hit this open mic in California or some shit like that, right?
Man.
I had a really good opportunity for a little while because I traveled for work.
It was your job, right?
It was my job.
Dope,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
so
definitely.
the cool thing with that was I would go to work and then get off work and I just get ready for a mic and then go around and do that. It really offered some good opportunities to like network and stuff with people.
Yeah,
Shout out to Rudy and his grown ass man job.
Yep, yeah. Rudy's doing it big. He's
punk
got
ass still
Yeah, well, listen.
putting baskets in the grocery carts.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys though. I want to kind of just quit that job and have a regular kind of a little kind of chill, a more chill job that can offer me like.
Well, if you ever
more
want to
opportunities
if
to
you
just
ever
hang
want if
out.
you ever want to wait tables, just hit me up.
I'd so
I
be cool
don't
with
I
that.
don't suggest
He
it.
don't get it. Let me
I-
tell you,
yeah,
so
yeah.
be cool
it's
with
a
that.
whole lifestyle change. Like,
Yeah.
you like eating combos when you go out to eat?
Yeah, I do, but I mean I can do without it though. That's the thing.
Look, let me tell you something. This is how it is. Like, I hate they made a meme for it, but this is real life. When you first get paid, shit, I'll go to Red Lobsters or anything. Then if I got a coupon, I'll probably get a combo at a fast food place. But when it get down to the nitty gritty, if it ain't a value menu or that 4 for $4,
Yeah, man.
that's how I survive. Like, god
feel you.
damn.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know it. If you salad bars too, because like salad bar, like Farm Fresh or some shit,
Yeah.
it's like $3-4. You can get you a big ass meal.
But I'll say this though. I'll honestly say, and I mean, I get it. I'm kind of lucky. I kind of lucked out with it. I started comedy a little later, in my mid-20s. So like I went to college, did the whole college thing, went ahead and got an actual 9-to-5 job, which
Yeah.
which
Sell out.
it's okay. Yeah, sell out and everything. But it's like I got that job and everything, and then I realized the day I got the job, I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. Like it was kind of a sucky thing where like your whole life you've worked for something, and then you get to it and you're like, this isn't what I want. I want to be a rapper this whole time. Like I didn't, or like I want to be an entertainer.
Don't give up on that. Like you could still be a rapper. There's plenty of time.
I think it's possible.
Yeah,
still,
you can still be a rapper.
But I kind of feel like it's very it's a kind of complex I get. So now I'm trying to kind of remedy that where like I want to do stuff that I missed out on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want to actually and really the job I have, I don't like it. Like I want to actually grind the way most open micers do, where it's like you have this dumb job. A lot of guys start comedy earlier in their lives when they're like 18 or something. And then they're like, maybe I went to college for a year or two, whatever, but it's not really what I want to do. So like I'm gonna have this little job over here that kind of gives me some free time every now and then. And I
Yeah.
can just really spend all my time trying to write and trying to get better with comedy and stuff.
Sometimes I think like I wish I had, because I didn't start doing stand up till I was like 26.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Like
Same here.
because we both been at it about a little bit about the
Yeah,
same time.
about the same time.
But like I think like man, sometimes I'm like I wish I had started when I was 18. But thinking back to like where I was when I was 18, like I probably would have like I'd have done bad, and then like that'd have been it for me.
Oh,
Like I'd have
yeah.
just been like, fuck this, I'm over it, I'm out.
Absolutely.
Like like I'm not gonna fail at this any. But now it's like that I'm older. Like I feel like you get used to failure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
it doesn't really phase you as much
Absolutely.
as like because you have that whole like high school mindset of being like 18, 19 years old, and your kids like you got to be the shit no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
And half the time, like majority of the time, whatever you do, you're gonna spend a lot of time sucking at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You kind of go through that thing where, and we're actually talking about this a little earlier, but you kind of do that thing when you're a kid, it's like you can tell yourself I'm gonna be an astronaut and it's fine. Like, you know, when
Yeah.
you're like 5 or something, you're like, I have the world by the balls. I can do anything I want to do. And then you grow up and then you do something stupid one day and you're like, I can't. I don't think I could do that. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I mean? Like you light your balls on fire. And you're like, I don't think an astronaut at 5 years old is lighting their balls on fire. And so you just kind of go, I can't do that. And then you eliminate things. And then over the course of your life, by the time you're like 20, you're like, oh, you know, I'm just going to be it's going to be a server. And that's it.
But at the same time,
No, go for it.
At the same time, like I started at 25, and I feel like it's better to start later because you're more mature and you can actually have more shit to talk about.
You have more
Agreed.
life experience.
Yeah, because at 18, all right, I went to high school. That's about it.
Yeah.
Now at 25, like the fact that you graduated from college, right?
Yeah.
I did too. With that being said,
VSU?
yep,
Bop.
HBCU, no swim team. But the thing is, you got to remember, you got to use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
Like you went to college. I know you got stories from college. And
I do.
And it's the thing is, you got to actually sit down and have like a free day where you can actually reminisce all those funny things that actually happened in college. So
And the stuff you learn from it. Because that can actually lead to some stuff that people can relate to.
exactly, because a lot of people didn't go to college, but a lot of people did go to college, and that's a whole big ass lane that you can go to.
See, both of y'all got college degrees. I'm actually still in college. I've dropped out of college 3 different times.
Smart.
Yeah. It's worked out well.
Like shit. Like college is. People forget college is a business.
Absolutely.
'Cause
If you guys have funny, kind of like weird, kind of awkward stories from college that you wouldn't mind sharing.
I mean, just
I know I
my
have a couple.
just like my experiences from like living in Hampton Roads and going to community college and Tidewater Community College specifically.
Yeah.
TCC Storm.
You know it. Yeah, they are so geared towards like they say from here go anywhere, but when you go in there and you talk to the student advisors, they try to push like, you should become a nurse. You should get into our radiology program. You should
That's their
become
bread and butter.
You should become a sonographer. Yeah, because that's where all their
Spend more
money
money.
comes from. And so if you want to do anything else besides work at a hospital, they don't really they don't have much to offer, but
Yeah.
I mean it's better than, I already dropped out of ODU and I don't have the money to go back to there, so
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, absolutely. And Justin actually has a funny joke about how it's TCC from here.
work for Centera.
Boom.
That's
real was
hilarious,
that?
man. So I kind of had an interesting college experience where like I went to college or whatever, and I went to school, high school, whatever, did my whole thing, and then I applied to UVA and Virginia Tech, and I didn't get into
damn.
Tech, but I got into UVA, which was a weird thing. So like I was one of 85 kids who got into UVA for whatever reason. My grades weren't good. I just kind of got in. And then 3 years later, I had a 1.9 GPA, and I got kicked out. So it's really kind of an odd thing. I just kind of thought college was this fun. Like it was the first time I was out of the house, and I was kind of thinking like I can do anything now that I'm out. And I just did the dumbest things, you know what I mean? I just got drunk.
But
all the time.
you're not in the minority or the majority of people once they get one, like especially if you go straight from high school to college like that, like
Yeah.
a lot of people do dumb shit. That's
Yeah.
That's what you spend like 18 to 25. That's what you spend most of your time doing is dumb shit.
Yes.
The fact that all 3 of us are sitting right here now and we're all closer to 30 and none of us either have a wife, an ex-wife, or a baby mama
Yeah.
is like crazy. Like what are the odds of that?
We're
Yeah.
unicorns.
Yeah, seriously, we're fucking unicorns.
Yes.
So Jonathan, what'd you do when you were in college? Like, were you, did you kind of, were you in the party scene a lot? I've strep throat, so I'm coughing a lot.
Understandable.
Yeah.
My freshman, I partied out, man. Like,
Yeah.
thing about Virginia State, what I love about it, the ratio was like 1 to 26. It was
Okay.
like for every dude, there was 26 girls.
Are you serious? There's no way.
No, I'm dead. I'm
Really?
so serious.
I'm about to transfer there.
You need I'll say this: if you go to Virginia State and you're a guy and you get out of that school, you'll be so calm being around a whole bunch of girls.
Yeah.
Like when I'm out of school and my friends that didn't go to school, they be like, "Man, Johnson, you see all these junks out here, man?" I be like, "Yeah." I did that every at school all the time. But the funniest story I got, it was at my friend's house, right? We were all my friends, we all hanging out, right, guys? And my friend, so like, yo, I'm about to use the bathroom. So he comes out, he picks his head out the bathroom, say, yo, y'all got no toilet paper. So we gave him a plastic bag with a T-shirt inside of it, right? And said, do what you got to do. So We still playing the game. 5 minutes later, the guy comes out with that T-shirt on and the plastic bag gone. So we didn't pay attention at first. We was like, yo, what's up? He was like, what you talking about? I'm like, yo, where's the shirt? He was like, I'm wearing it. And he was like, oh, so we was like, what you wipe your ass with? He was like, the plastic bag. And I was like, why you didn't use a shirt? He was like, why would I mess up a perfectly good shirt? And after that, man, I love college, yo. People have no parents to, like, there's no thinking skills. You just yourself.
Rudy, your degree's in engineering?
It's in engineering.
And what is yours?
Rocket science.
Nice. All right,
that
cool.
Geniuses.
Yes.
I have an interesting thing. So I went into college. I was seeking an architecture degree, and I was like, this is gonna be fun. The way I came up with that degree, with I guess what I wanted to do is, I went to I was in high school, whatever. My senior year, I was like, what is it that I really want to do, and and so like I just opened up like a book full of professions. And architecture was the number one thing. And I was like, I'm just going to be an architect, whatever. Boom, problem solved. And that was it. And I went to college, and I enrolled in the architecture program, which was a pretty tough program to get into. And the first day of class, I go to class, and the dude goes up, and he talks whatever. He says, and then I'm sitting there going, I don't want to be an architect. Like, it was the first day. Like, you work really hard to get to a certain point, and you're like, there's no way I want to do this. Like, I just knew I didn't want to be an architect. But still then I figured, let me just try to force it and try to figure out what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so I try to do it, and I mean.
Side note, my friend George Costanza always wanted to be an architect, just to let you know, but go ahead, continue.
I think I met him. I met George Costanza before. Good dude.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, dude. So like eventually I tried to figure it out and I tried to do it, but it just didn't work out. I hated it. I just didn't like it. And so I figured, what's I'm in this program. What's something that's similar? And then I went out and I transferred to ODU with a civil engineering program, which is a little similar, but also really different. I did that, and then for the 2 years I was there, I was like, this is perfect. Like, I figured out what it is I want to do, and then I get my degree, and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. This is actually not fun at all.
Not at all what you want.
I mean,
to do.
it's like I never knew. It's like they always tell you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know what I mean? I always thought. I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up until I grew up. You know what I mean?
See, I'm jealous of that because I still don't know what I want to be, and I'm already grown. I've been growing up for a while, and I still don't know what I want to be, and it's frustrating as hell. But
I don't think I do either. But it's like you kind of see something that you like. Like, I think on a visceral level, when you're growing up, you kind of don't know. You don't know who you are, first of all, and so you don't really know what you like then.
No.
I mean, so for me, it was just like, oh, what is it that my family thinks is important? Education. So then you just do that then, and then you're like, no, I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, with the comedy thing, I just spent a lot of time watching it on TV and and kind of researching it and stuff like that. And I was like, let me just try it out.
When did you first get into stand-up?
I first started doing it. It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, not necessarily the first time.
Just get
like
into
when
it.
you started listening to like stand-up and like how did you what your first stand-up show?
Yeah.
What was your first stand-up show?
The first stand-up show that I went to or that I watched?
That you went to. Like, how old were you? Who was it? Like,
I never went to one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We moved here from Africa when I was 9 years old, and the next day, I turned Comic View on and I was laughing like an idiot. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is back when Earthquake used to, not Earthquake, Bruce used to host it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I wasn't really open to that ever. So I just saw a bunch of people just going off on stage. It was the funniest thing ever to me. And that was really kind of my first foray into comedy.
Yeah.
It was kind of that, the Comic View thing where it was very
definitely.
animated and very, that.
Yeah.
And then eventually I kind of got into Chris Rock after that. And then from Chris Rock, when the original Kings of Comedy, when that came out, that changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, it was very, I still think about when Steve Harvey hosted it. Obviously, he was on there and he was messing around with the crowd. And there was one dude. He was like, "Hey, what do you do?" And the dude was like, "Computer school." And he was like, "There's nothing about you that says computer or school." You know what I mean? But yeah, that special changed my life. Like D.L. Hughley, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer.
R.I.P.
I think the best set was probably Cedric's set, to be honest with you. And then right after Cedric, Bernie Mac set.
Yeah.
And D.L. Hughley was one of those guys that I kind of feel like I see myself a lot in him, in that, not as far as his, how funny, because he's brilliant, but I kind of feel like he's one of those guys
Don't doubt
that's
yourself.
yeah. Well, he's one of those guys that's mastered the actual art of stand-up comedy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where like you see him earlier on, and he was just one of those guys who just went up and told a bunch of jokes. Like if you see him now, it's like it's completely effortless.
Yeah,
Like this
absolutely.
dude's really got it down. But it's like I saw that earlier, and that was kind of my first foray. And then, but that was back when I just enjoyed comedy.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it was to me. Eventually, I got older, and there was three things that completely that made me want to do it. One was Conan O'Brien's show, his late night show, back in like
Me
the
too.
early 2000s.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
just silly for no reason.
Yeah.
And like I kind of could relate in that because I mean I just love silly stuff. And then Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, where it was really just insult comedy, and that's all that was. And
Definitely.
there was a part of me that loved that. And the thing that kind of threw it over the edge was Dave Chappelle's show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and his stand-up that
Yeah,
went along
absolutely.
with it.
Yeah.
Because that was, I think I saw one episode. I saw his stand-up, the
I
one he
don't-
did in 2005, and like I was watching it when I fell asleep one day, and I remember literally like laughing in my sleep. It was so funny. You know what I mean? I woke up the next day, I watched it, kind of poured some cereal, watched the whole thing, and it was the best. Like it wasn't the best really when you put things up even with his own work, but it stood alone so well that I was like, I watched that and I was like, I have to do comedy now. Like I want to eventually work really hard and put something together that's half as good as this. Like,
Yeah,
that's how,
yeah.
And those three things, that happened when I was 18, and I was like, I'm gonna do comedy. And then for 8 years, I wrote a bunch of jokes, and I just told my friends like, look, I'm gonna do comedy one day, and I just never.
They're
did.
the worst people to tell.
They really are. 'Cause they'll
Don't
be
like,
like,
you
yeah,
know, the people that are like know you before. I can tell you from personal experience, like the people that know you before you do it,
Yeah.
are going to totally be like, yeah, you shouldn't go do that. And a lot of times they're going to be right,
yeah.
depending on the person, but they're not the ones to seek their approval.
And there are the same ones too that go, oh, you know what I mean? When's your next show?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I'll definitely check you out.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
then you're like, all right, well, my next show is on this day.
Right, right.
And then they're like, all right,
Just-
well, when's the show after that?
Just because
Oh,
I'm
man.
curious, Jonte, like when was your first, like how'd you get, like what made you come around to like stand up or even get into it? Because there's so many people out there that like never been to a stand up show, never
Yeah.
listened to a stand up album, never even watched a stand up special, anything like that. And it's crazy. It blows my mind. But I've just always been into it. But like when did, like do you remember?
When Miss said like, "Yo, I'm about to do this."
Yeah.
Or not even
Or-
like, or just like when you started listening to stand up, when you were like, yeah, this shit's dope. It just in general, like whatever age you were, like first comic you remember seeing.
Ooh.
Did you ever go out to a show?
No, I never went to a show.
Because stand-up shows are expensive, man. That's what people, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I
unless
was
it's like
like,
a
yeah.
comedy club, like usually the ones you want to see are like in arenas somewhere. You
And
know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
them are 21 and up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
also,
too, yeah.
You know, like, I ain't gonna lie. When I was young, I wasn't thinking of stand up, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was so much stuff that was influenced in my life that led up to doing stand up. From younger, watching all that Keenan and Kel, because like if you watch that stuff, it's like simple comedy. If
Yeah.
you, it's basic, like
It's all improv, really.
exactly, and
Yeah.
it's always like Keenan and Kel was
But
like.
It was so good. I was
Yeah,
raised on all that. Yeah, yeah.
Keenan Kel was mocked by what's that other show? Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah, yeah.
it's crazy how they was doing the same thing, but it was the same setup.
It's
and
like a
everything.
skinny dude, a fat
That
dude.
guy,
Yeah.
one stupid, one serious, and it always work, and it works for everything. You watch any duo, TV or movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's the basic setup.
It's all the
So you
same formula.
So you start watching that for a little bit. You're like, okay, and then you got the all that. That's like the kid version. That's like the junior varsity of Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely.
and Madden.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Then
That's what that was.
you add that with that came on at SNCC. So Saturday night, you
The
know,
orange couch.
Exactly. And after that, what came on? Mad TV.
Yeah,
So
man.
you're getting even more. And then, unfortunately, we didn't have Google and all that good stuff, so I couldn't look up Aries Spears and know he was
Yeah.
a comedian. All I know he was this funny dude on this show.
Oh, Matt, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So and that's when BET Uncut came. Not BET Uncut. Oh man, when BET what's that shit called?
Comic View? No.
Comic View. Yeah,
Yeah,
Comic
yeah,
View came
man.
out. I watch every now and then, but
Comic View changed my life, dude.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely.
That show was hysterical.
it was.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, you know what? Because a lot of people told me I was funny. I was like, let me just try it and see what happens. And it's kind of fun. It really to actually sit there and come up with some like. There's no music.
Yeah.
It's just
Nah,
you and a
it's just-
mic.
yeah, yeah.
And there's no. All right, hold on. Well, at least it's the beat good or
Yeah.
something like that. It's they gotta hear everything you say. That's so scary.
Something that's very interesting is both of you are very you guys write a lot, but you also post it all up on social media often. Like Jonte, like I mentioned it a bunch of times. Shout out to your Twitter, 757 Fresh Prince, everything.
I appreciate
You literally like I just go on Twitter at any point and I see like 9 tweets of yours. You know what I mean? Like you see one 5 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, 3 minutes. You know, it's crazy. Like you know what I mean? You have a bunch of thoughts that you let out. And Justin, you kind of do the same thing on Facebook. You
Absolutely.
Yeah.
put stuff
I've
out
seen
and
it.
it's like they're all funny. Like it's all very fun. And I know there's a bunch of other people who just write a lot, but they just kind of keep it to themselves and stuff. So I mean, honestly, for you, Justin, what was kind of the thing that made you think like, oh, let me kind of step out and do some comedy?
Like, all right, like probably a couple years ago, like I always messed around with like either some type of writing, like whether it was like short stories or poetry or shit like that, like when I was younger. And then, you know, as Facebook started to get more popular, like I just started like, well, let me put stupid shit up here and see what happens. And I think one day, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, I had somebody, you know, tell me like, hey, you know, some of the stuff you post is like pretty funny and I like it better than some of the actual comedians I'm with or friends with. So I was like, shit, well, I guess, I mean, the worst thing I'm gonna do is fail. So let me go try this. And
Exactly.
and then like, you know, I found like I started looking in the area. I had no idea this area even had a comedy scene
Me
like
neither, dude.
that it does until I got into it. And like I took, you know, like I took I know it sounds weird, but I took a class. That was how I got into it. I didn't know how else.
Yeah.
And then like after I did that, I was like, wow, there's like a couple open mics around here. I had no idea there was more than one comedy club or more than one place to go see stand up other than like if a big name came here, you know, they'd be at like Chrysler Hall or, you know, like the Scope or something like that. But I didn't know there was amateur nights like there is with music, you know what I mean? And like,
and I didn't know about the music ones either. You know what I mean? Until I started doing comedy, then you're like, oh, okay. You know, on Mondays they do music.
I feel like I knew about the music ones just from like going out drinking in the area. Because odds are, if you go out drinking somewhere, whether town center, down the ocean front, whatever, your odds of seeing music are way higher than walking in on a stand-up show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Especially on the weekends.
Especially on the weekends, yeah. But it's because most people don't have the like. You ever notice a lot of people, majority of people at comedy shows are older.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I just above the age of 25.
Yeah,
like they're
absolutely.
like a lot of times it's couples, things
Not
like
our
married.
peers.
It's always couple. Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
And I think it's because like when you're younger, like people under the age of 25, like it's really hard to like whether you're aware of it or not, a lot of people are so like self-centered and like all about themselves that it's hard to give your undivided attention to somebody else and everything they're saying for, you know, 20, 30, even 10 minutes.
And to pay for it.
Yeah, and to pay for it. So it's like when you're younger, whether you're aware of it or not, like you're just self-centered and egotistical, and it's hard to give your attention to somebody that's on a stage who's self-centered and egotistical.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and that was, I don't know, that's just how I've always.
It's crazy to me. I mean, I'm at comedy shows all the time now, and it's like, yeah, you just like when you boil it down, you're in the background watching, and there's just a guy up there talking about himself and things that relate to him for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And everyone has to sit there quietly and watch him do it.
Yeah.
It really is kind of an insane thing when you think about it.
Absolutely. Like my, y'all, I was asking y'all, but like my first comedy show was when I was like 13, 14 years old. My dad took me to see Janine Garofalo at Chrysler Hall.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a known name yet, but Zach Galifianakis opened for her.
Oh, my goodness.
And-
What year was this?
All right, so I was 12, 13 years old, so like
Do the math, Rudy.
yeah, no,
Show a degree.
yeah, I'm the one still at
2000,
TCC.
2001.
I'll say like like 99, 2000. So
Okay,
I was like eighth grade, something like
Look,
that.
he just bailed out.
I got you. Don't worry. I'm at TCC. I got you.
TCC Storm.
all day.
But yeah, like, and I remember just kind of being blown away. Like I'd been to music shows and like I was already into music and, you know, listening to like, you know, 90s rap and grunge and all that, like by that time.
Oh,
But I had never been to a stand-up show, and I just like my dad just kind of dragged me along one night, and I just remember being blown away by like what one person with a mic and just what they were saying could do, because I'd never seen that before. Like I'd seen bands and like, you know, gotten that whole experience and been to concerts and like that's cool, but then I saw stand-up, and I mean, I know I'm, you know, not everybody feels this way, but like I like stand-up shows more than like music shows.
Oh, absolutely.
I know
Me
it's
too.
weird, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
Jonte probably likes twerk contests better than that. I don't mean to. That was really judgmental of me, wasn't it?
I mean, who don't like twerk contests?
I think we
That'd
all
be weird
do.
if I didn't. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. I typically enjoy that more than I mean, I like music a lot too, but I enjoy kind of that.
You used to
more.
play in a band, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
was in a
What
band.
instrument did you play?
I did not play an instrument.
You sung?
But yeah, I sung. You could say I sung. But
Where can I download this at?
well, we had a pure
Well,
volume. I don't know if you can find it.
It was metal, right?
It was a metal. I was a
Malumba metal?
vocalist. I was a yeah. It was
Malumba
a
metal?
Malumba metal. That was the genre. I was a vocalist for that band. I didn't sing. I did a little bit of screaming. That's kind of all it was. Okay, but
Was it aggressive screaming or passive screaming?
it was not passive at all. Like it was very guttural and very, you know what I mean. But it was a kind of band where like there was screaming and singing. So like you have some, you know.
Would you
back
wake
in,
up?
like,
I've always wanted. Would you wake up in the morning and just couldn't talk? Like,
I kind of had that. Here's the thing: we didn't perform a lot. Like we perform maybe twice a month.
okay,
And I was really just the guy who I stepped in for. So like, what happened is I went to college and I was really into this little genre called metalcore
yeah,
and emo core and
I know
stuff
what
like
you're talking-
that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
So
about.
like think Hawthorne Heights or like.
I feel like
Thunder
I know
Road,
what you're talking.
stuff like
Jonte doesn't, but I know what you're
that.
talking
Jonte,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
Silver-
what
I don't either.
What? Who high?
You've
What?
never listened to Silverstein ever in your life, Jonte?
Just
No.
just Malumba metal. That's all you need. Just Malumba metal.
All right, Malumba metal.
But I was really into that. That was really it. And like, I mean, music to me, I love. I mean, yeah, I love all of it. But at that time, I was really obsessed with that. And so I made friends with a bunch of people who were in bands and stuff, and who were kind of ingrained in the scene. I was friends with them, and then over time, there was one guy that I was friends with who was in a band, who was a lead vocalist for it, who just stopped doing it.
Stop.
And so since I was around, they were like, "Oh, Rudy, can you do it?" You know, because I'd always, you know, like I throw subtle hints, like I want to scream in your band, and like I just, you know, and then over time they're like, "Rudy, just do it." And so I did it, and I did it for like maybe a few months,
Yeah,
and that was it.
So-
But it was fun.
I played like I've always played music, but I played in a band for a little bit, but it wasn't like it was just kind of like house parties. Like
Okay.
that was what we play, and I wasn't like that talented of a musician, and I wasn't that confident of a musician.
What
so it was like
what instrument did you play?
I played bass in the band that I was in, but then like also, you know, like if there was an acoustic guitar or some shit, like if you give me anything with strings on, I'll make some sound come out of it.
Absolutely,
I don't know if
yeah.
it'll be good or not, but like
Yeah.
I, you know, like that kind of thing. But I like it was just never. It was all right, but I definitely like from the little bit of stand up I've done and the little bit of music I've done, I definitely like doing stand up more.
No, absolutely.
Anybody play football, basketball?
I did. I played football 1 year.
What position you play?
I played lineman both sides.
So you did absolutely nothing.
I did absolutely
spectacular.
nothing. Here's the thing. I got to play against Marcus Vick.
Marcus Vick.
So yeah, so like, you
Did
know,
he run you over?
I was
Oh,
just about
yeah.
to say, yeah.
Did
he was everybody on my I was a lineman, and everybody on my team was more diesel than me. Like that's kind of how it was. So like it's really funny. I always tell
God
people
damn, son.
like yeah, it was weird.
Shit.
I always tell people like you know, I tell them, you know, I played against Marcus Vick, and they go, "Oh, the guy who killed who murdered dogs." I go, "No, the guy who almost murdered people."
Yes.
But yeah, he was a monster, man. I remember back in I only played 1 year, but I like the way we talk about him. Like we talked about him like a mythic, like a Greek god or whatever.
yeah.
He was
yeah.
that. He was that awesome.
Yeah, he was a beast, dude, in high school. Yeah,
Was he kind of a dick?
I never met him. I never
Okay.
really met him.
All right,
like
yeah.
it was all just kind of like, oh man, we played him last week. The dude ran for like 900 yards and
Yeah.
this and that. It was a fun little outing for all of us. But yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like you know, this comedy thing in general, you just kind of do it and then you hope for the best. I mean, that's definitely kind of my whole thing. It's never, I never in my head think like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do forever. It's like it's kind of like a one day at a time kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how it's got to be though.
Yeah.
Like I've never been good at planning anything,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Comedy's nice because it's just day to day.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we got?
Looks like we got a phone call. Let's kind of answer this real quick. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, guess who it is?
Looks like we got Martin Phillips calling into the great show. Martin, thanks for calling in and listening in. The phone number is 757-848-9250. For anybody else who's on the line.
Who else is on the line?
Who else is who wants to call in?
What's
What's
up,
going on,
Martin?
What's going on with you, buddy? We got me, Jonte Ferguson, Martin Phillips. Sorry, not Martin Phillips.
That's
Justin
Martin.
King.
Oh man.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it is it just
I'm a
Martin?
first.
Looks like it. Martin, what's going on, buddy? What do you got to add here, buddy?
Oh man, I'm a first time caller, a long time listener.
God damn.
I'll offer a little bit of info here. Martin Phillips is a stand-up comedian as well, and he's a good friend of mine. I'd say he's my best friend. I don't know.
I mean,
And he
you're
lives in
one of
DC
my
now.
best friends. Like, you know.
Jeez Louise.
What do you got? What do you got, buddy?
Okay, I'll be honest. Like, I wasn't really listening to the show. That like I was listening, and then I took a break, and then I came back. So like, what you've been talking about for like the past like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, you called in, and we want to kind of inject you into the conversation. So, whatever you got, speak on it, man.
Right. I heard what Justin was talking about, like, oh no, actually, okay, Justin was talking about playing guitar, and then you were like, I was a lineman, and I played against Marcus Vick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Dude,
It's really, I mean, my whole thing was, because I saw, when I was in high school, like, I saw the people who played football, and I was like, man, that's, like, I bet they're really cool because they play it. You know what I mean? Like, they look like they're, like they're super cool. So I did it for that reason, and I was just Rudy with a football jersey. That's all it was.
There was
like,
no way in hell I was making any
It didn't,
sports
you
team
know,
at school.
Really?
No,
It didn't really add any cachet to my reputation. It was just kind of like, oh, there's Rudy. He plays football now. You know what I mean?
I feel
Yeah, I
like it
was
definitely
on-
helps. It gives you an edge up, though, right?
It gives you a little bit of an edge up, yeah.
I was on the
definitely do.
football team.
What, say again, bud?
I was on the football team.
what position did you play?
Hopefully, quarterback.
Manager.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the
That's true. I was. That's true. I was. I did let me wear a jersey.
Martin is again a funny comedian. He's actually trying out for. I don't know. Should I say this, Martin? Should I say it on the radio? Martin is.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna say
okay.
it. Screw you. I'm gonna say Martin is trying out for America's Got Talent in January.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna make it.
And so I told him once he becomes a headliner, he has to let me open for him.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of how that whole thing works. Do you have anything else, Martin?
Rudy.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for the show?
What?
Do you have anything else for the show?
What? Not really. I just thought I thought you'd like it, and I called in.
Absolutely. It's been the best call of the night.
We all
Yeah,
love
how many
Martin.
other calls have there been?
A lot, Martin. A lot. Too many to count.
We all love Martin. Martin, thanks for calling in, buddy. Thanks for you said you were listening for at least 10 minutes. So I mean, you're a round of
Thank you. For
deserve a round of
listening.
applause.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening in. Thanks for calling in, buddy. And again, if you have anything else, the phone lines are brand.
Look for Martin on
What's
America's
the
Got
number
Talent
again?
the next season.
Tell him
The phone number for the to join into the conversation, okay, is 757-848-9250. Martin, thanks for calling in, buddy. All right.
Rudy.
Yeah.
I do want to say one more thing.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, on your podcast, you said on a rap album that we were gonna structure it like each song is a stage. And you said we had a song called Swag Junior. That is not true. That's the latest shit I've ever heard.
See,
I
here's
do
the-
not approve of that.
Here's the
So
thing. Okay.
I want to make it clear that finally did not have like
You want to
agree
clear your name? That's
to
okay.
that concept.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of let the public in, or our two callers or our two listeners in on the whole thing. So Martin Phillips and I are gonna we're creating a rap album right now.
Yeah.
And Martin has written out all the lyrics, et cetera, et cetera. And like, so I do a podcast also, and I was kind of talking about it, and I said that the first of all, the name of the album is called The United States of Illmerica.
Nice.
God
What do you guys think? You guys
Quality.
down?
Yeah, quality.
I would definitely.
Martin
listen
wrote
to
it.
that.
Martin
You-
wrote it all.
Martin wrote
Martin's
it
your
all.
ghostwriter.
Yeah, he's my ghostwriter.
God damn, you're supposed to admit that.
Yeah.
Man. Shit.
Martin, Martin did all the reference tracks.
The
Holy
dopest
shit.
rhymes. Like Rudy has pretty good rhymes.
But so like, since it's called The United States of Illmerica, every song title is gonna be like a state name, but like with a cool thing to it. So Virginia. So
So what? Are you gonna have 50?
we're not gonna have
songs
50.
on it?
We're,
Okay,
we're
all
gonna
right.
have 13.
Are
The
you
original
like the
colonies.
Confederacy? Yeah. There you go.
So like,
God damn it.
so like, we did one for Virginia. It's called Swag Ginia.
See, none of that is true. Like that.
Well, that's what it's
I
true
do
to
not
me.
agree with
It's true
that
to me,
idea.
dude.
That's stupid. Like, no, I do not. I don't like that idea.
It's scrap.
Well, listen, Mark, it's true to me. You know what I mean? Like that's my truth. That's what I wanted to do.
You know, I
So,
use
I don't know.
common
First of all,
nature.
you've come out with every, you did every song lyric. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I could just come up with the song titles. That's okay with me, right?
Right. Well, we'll deal with this later. You
We'll-
go
we'll-
on.
we'll figure it out.
So.
We'll figure it out.
Look.
Martin, thanks for calling in, buddy. Again, appreciate it. Thanks for listening, everything. Everybody else, just know, the phone lines are still open. 757-848-9250. We're sitting here with Justin King, hilarious comedian, and my co-host, Jonte
All right,
Ferguson.
can I say something real quick?
Yeah, all day.
All right, so we got what time is it over? At 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
We have 9 minutes. So look, Rudy,
Yeah.
stop pussyfooting around. Let's ask Justin some real ass shit.
Let's talk some real.
And
let's
look,
do
the
real
lines
talk.
are open. Question us, ask us some questions.
All day,
We'll
every day.
definitely look you up on Facebook and look at your titties,
Yes.
especially.
What
we,
they said.
We got Justin King in the fucking building. Bitches, show your titties. Rudy, ask him some questions. Let's go. Bang, bang.
What's yeah? So I don't know. I'm trying. Do you have one, Justin or Jonathan? Do you have a real ass question?
What, as an open, fuck it, we're all open micers. Let's keep it real.
Yep, yeah.
What
John,
pisses you off about being an open micer?
Probably the only thing, like, just when there's not a crowd.
Mm.
Because, I mean, sometimes you can't really, if there's only 20 people there, you can't really gauge if something's good or not.
Can't.
You
At
know what
all.
I mean? Like, so it's like, if you go to an open mic and bomb, which I do all the time, just, like, take it with a grain of salt. Because, like, if it's only in front of 15, 20 people, like, it might go way differently if it's in front of, like, a couple hundred.
See, this is my thing. Like, I've been doing only 3 years, and I'm humble with it. Like, I've done crowds of 2 people. I've done
Yeah.
a lot, like whatever. But I'm at the point where I hate when somebody, like, if I come to a show and there's only like 5 people and I don't want to perform, they be like, well, if you can't perform in front of 5 people, what mean you think you can perform in front of 100 people? And I would be like, motherfucker, I heard that so many times. Like, I already paid I don't say I paid my dues, but at some time, I'm like, come on, man.
You have on some
wait,
level.
on, like, just on that, like what you just said, like, I've always kind of had a theory that, like, it's easier to, maybe not all the time, but it's like usually it's easier to get a larger crowd to laugh than it is to get a smaller crowd to laugh, because laughter is kind of contagious.
It is.
Yeah.
So if it's a crowd of 200-300 people, I've noticed that, like, if you can get, like,
Spread
it's
out.
it's easier to get that many people to laugh than it is to get 2 or 3 people to laugh.
And then on top of that, they're spread out because it'd be like, ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit
And there's so
sucks.
many people that, like, out there that, like, that aren't funny in their actual lives, and then, like, get on stage and can do can do decent.
It's weird.
And, like, I mean, that's how I, like, me personally, that's how I think of myself, is like,
I think that's how I am too.
yeah, like, no, I don't know, you're pretty funny in general.
I mean,
No, you're like a lovable dude, like everyone.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're
yeah,
you got to think more of yourself.
I didn't
man.
mean to,
No, you're good.
No,
You-
thank
no,
you. Yeah.
you're good. But you should think more highly
Yeah.
of yourself. I think Martin would agree if he's still listening.
I feel you. I
We'll,
feel you.
we'll call him after this.
Here's a funny thing. And it's really tough. I think, like,
Still show us your titties. We still waiting for
yeah,
your titties.
757-848-9250. Call and tell us about your titties. I don't know.
Yeah.
But check it out. So, like, for me, I think it's really tough too, because again, we're amateurs. So, like,
Absolutely.
in general, especially on a weekend, what would make, like, the general public want to come see guys who are trying to be good at comedy? You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like that's kind of the catch-22. Like, we're gonna have to deal with this for years until we get to a point where we can actually, like, headline.
Yeah.
And even then, you'll be like, I'm not on TV. I'm not on MTV. I don't have a show. I don't have this. I don't have that. Like, I tried to put a show together. And, like, I had a room. I was kind of trying to work it or
Yeah.
whatever. And I ran, like, 3 shows. The first show was awful. The second show was pretty good. Had a decent turnout. The third show, 0 people showed up.
This is the thing.
0 people.
This is all it is right now. Is this right here, my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can get my attention on my phone, I'll come to see you.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. Like, there's certain people that can do certain. How can I say this? If we're in the age now, we gotta get people attention. If you can be funny on social media, they'll expect you to be funny on stage. As us being comedians right now, it's like we got what they don't have, but
Yeah.
they have what we don't got. And it's crazy. Like, if
That's
I,
deep right there.
it is.
Yeah.
It's baffled me because I'm like, What can I do, like you said, to get people
There-
to come out?
There's definitely a lot of people out there like that are like, I guess you call it like online comics or something like that. That like
And you know why those people exist? Because people want they want content.
Yeah,
like again,
yeah.
you know, I mean,
Consistency.
memes are flying everywhere.
what
and
was
stuff
that?
like
What was that one dude like a year like he got that TV, the Fat Jew?
Oh,
or
yeah, the
whatever,
Fat
like,
Jew,
He
yeah.
got like that TV deal, but
Got
then
the
like
TV
all,
deal,
all of-
everything.
all of
Yeah.
his jokes were just memes.
It was all stolen
It was
from
all
people.
God damn it.
But it's like he really got like the brunt of it. But the fact of the matter is, there's a
got
lot
paid.
of
But he,
million people.
he's not
like
the
him.
only one out there. Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of joke aggregators who that's what they do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's where the traffic comes from. But again, that means that there's people out there who want that content.
Yeah.
So like all the memes being made and everything like that. Like as a comic, a lot of people get mad at the Vine guys or the guys who are on YouTube and stuff. I think Country Wayne came down here
Yeah.
a few months ago and he sold out the Funny Bone like it
Yeah.
was nothing. And you have guys who have been and he's only been doing videos for what, last 4 or 5 years?
No,
Yeah.
How long?
a year and a half.
A year and a half. He's been doing videos for a year and a half,
And
and he
sold-
sells out
A year and
2
a
shows on a
fucking half.
Wednesday. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you got guys who have been working for 20 plus years, and their material is tight, and it's really funny, and they could destroy any room in the country. But I mean, they're not on Vine. You know what I mean? So they
with
you
a
know,
couple
so,
100,000 followers, so
Exactly.
they're not selling.
It's
you
a
know,
different-
yeah.
So they have like 20 people show up. So again, I mean, the need is. I mean, the market is there.
And I think there's definitely been. I think there's a lot. There's a lot of times where like those people have sold out rooms and like gotten up on stage and had the people who opened for them just kill it compared to how they did, and they've gotten up and
Yeah.
just bombed because they don't have the experience of like you can write something that's funny, or you can make a funny video, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to when you're standing on stage in front of a crowd.
You gotta-
100%.
There's
Yeah,
no,
yeah, absolutely.
There's no
100%.
cut on do it again.
No, yeah, it's
But this is the thing, though.
it's
You
all
gotta
one take.
realize, yeah. But you gotta realize we're in the age where we got this technology we're accessible to. We just can't be comedians. Like you got to do
Exactly.
something else. You got to
Exactly.
get your foot in something else.
and that's where the business is right now. Like I kind of feel like 10, 15 years ago, that wasn't the case. Like if you just went up and you just worked on your act for years, you could make it just being a comedian. Like nowadays, you have to be into everything. Like the Instagram videos, the YouTube stuff,
Yep.
you know what I mean, the web, the webisodes and this and that, the
I
memes.
can't
just want to tell
even
jokes.
I can't even use one more. I only use one social media, Facebook, and that's it. Like I have an Instagram and I have a Twitter, but I don't.
We don't
use-
really.
I don't
yeah.
use them. It's
Full-time
just it
job,
takes too
man.
much. Yeah.
Full-time job.
It's tough to do, but I mean, it's definitely like once you find the niche and once you find kind of that area, I mean, dude, you're good. You could
But-
make millions.
But I will say this. I have people come to my actual shows based off the strength of my web presence. Like,
Yeah.
they'll see a couple videos like, I gotta
believe
come
it.
see you. And it's crazy. And it's so, like, when you do stuff, like, when you actually put out, like, when you go on stage and do a set, or if you do a skit, or you do something like that, that's like your, what's the word I'm looking for? That's on your repertoire. That's your catalog.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
a part of you. Like,
Yep.
yeah. Like, if
You're building a brand. Is
yeah,
what you're
that's
doing.
what you're
Yeah.
trying to do.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
even though it ain't, I ain't gonna say it ain't shit, but it's something low right now. Eventually, I can look back and be like, look at this shit I was working on. Like I could probably bring it back to life and actually use it. So
Absolutely.
if anything, I'm telling y'all too, like this radio station, this is dope. Like
Yeah.
whatever you can get your foot in, put your dick in, or your finger in, whatever you can get in, do it. Cause everybody want to see you do something else. Like,
100%. And Jonte, you're one of those people who, I mean, you tirelessly do that. Where you have like the stickers, you have all that stuff, you have the web shows that you kind of do, and
Yeah,
all that other stuff. You
got-
write constantly. You put it on Twitter.
You got like
and all that stuff.
merchandise.
I'm trying, man. See,
You know what I mean? He's like a rock star already.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is the thing. At the beginning of the show, Rudy, you was talking about how you want to live our lifestyle. Look, let me tell you something. If I had a big boy job, like a grown-up job, my life would be so much easier. You know how much I can buy the shirts to get them made.
But
can
I mean,
buy
you'd be
you-
a lot busier too. Like I feel like you wouldn't have for me, I don't even. It's like I work some days till 7.
You work
Damn.
and then I
like
I,
a 9 to 7.
yeah, oh, like in 7:30 to 7 p.m. Like,
So you work like 12 hours a day,
I mean,
and
it
then
was
still
nuts.
find
days,
time.
I've had
Ooh.
days where I work till midnight.
You would
Damn, man.
not.
Like it's
Damn.
so it's tough because you have to find
You
the time
would
to write.
not
And you have to find time to
have
do
me
all
at
that other stuff.
work.
And I mean, it's tough to do, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I really feel like
But your job's salary, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
so
would
you
call
don't
it-
even get extra stuff. For
So when
it.
you, but when you're salaried, that's when
yeah. I mean, I definitely can't complain about that.
they make
Big
you
boy
work
moves
ridiculous
right
amounts of
there.
hours.
I definitely can't complain about that. But I mean, again, but if you don't like it, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not something you enjoy. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So it just kind of is what it is, man. But this we got really real this episode. I was gonna kind of dip into you guys's life post comedy, as far as the ladies, how your life has changed since then.
Oh, absolutely.
I know Jonte has
none.
like threesome stories and all kinds of
I
crazy
don't.
stuff like that, orgy stories and stuff. You know,
I'm still looking. for
Jonte
one.
probably would.
I'm not the guy.
you got to have like one though. I'm sure you have like at least one.
No, the nice thing about doing stand-up shows compared to doing music shows is like where musicians get girls, stand-up comedians just leave stand-up shows with other comedians. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
don't they don't leave or by themselves. They don't leave with girls.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I don't know.
But this has been a
Damn.
lot of fun, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
a fun little setup here, man. We just kind of
Yeah, this is dope. I like this. This is what the
My-
second show.
This is the second show. My whole thing with this is the number one thing for me, in general, after every comedy show in the back room or wherever else, I have the best conversations with other comics about anything, any and everything, comedy and life. Period.
Yeah.
Like I've been really enlightened in the last 2.5 years, just off the strength of that alone. So I figured, you know, it'd be a fun thing to bring it out to the public. So this is that's the spirit of the show.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's gonna keep growing from there. But let's go around the room. Jonte, you if someone wanted to come see you at a comedy show or wanted to follow you on social media, where would they need to go?
Follow me on Facebook, Jonte Ferguson. I know you can't spell my first name, so follow me on Instagram, 757 Fresh Prince, and people don't read, so
Yeah,
follow me on Instagram, 757 Fresh Prince, and check out Crushes. Justin King gonna be on one soon, and Rudy.
Webisode. What you got, Justin?
Just find me right now either on Facebook, you know, Justin King. There's a lot of Justin Kings out there though,
It's
but
on
you'll
your
find
picture. What kind of picture you
I'm just on stage. You'll find me.
Yeah.
And then or on Instagram
Swag.
Justin_A_King. You'll find it.
Swag.
Cool.
Bang bang.
I'm Rudy Malumba. You can
Cheers.
find me on Facebook, Rudy Malumba, MULAMBA. I'm on Twitter, RD from VA, D as in dog. I'm on Instagram, RD from VA,
Damn.
D as in dog, no Owen from.
Oh.
If you can, follow the show's Twitter. It's the great_pod, at the great_pod on Twitter, and the Great Show on Facebook. We have a podcast that we do on Sundays that we usually put up on Mondays, so you can do that too. If you guys can, also tune in on Saturday, the 22nd, to our all-day event, All Day You Drunks. There's a comedy show at 9.
Yeah.
Jonte's going to be on the show,
Nice.
and it's just going to be a fun all-day event, so if you guys can, do that. Apart from that, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been a fun show. Rudy, Jonte, and Justin, we're signing off. You guys have a good one. Peace.